The Mongol Empire's vast legacy, a tapestry woven with threads of conquest and cultural exchange, stretches across continents and centuries. Its impact on the world is undeniable, a testament to the ambition and military prowess of its founders. But the story we often hear is incomplete, focusing primarily on the male figures who led the charge. The conventional narrative suggests that this sprawling empire, the largest contiguous land empire in history, wasn't built by Genghis Khan alone. While his military genius and strategic vision were undoubtedly crucial, the empire's foundation rested on the contributions of many others, individuals whose roles have been largely overlooked in traditional historical accounts. Behind the legend, behind the battlefield victories and the political maneuvering, stood his daughters, women of remarkable intelligence, resilience and political acumen. These were formidable women whose stories, for far too long, have been nearly erased from history, relegated to footnotes or dismissed as mere accessories to the men who dominated the historical stage. Their influence, however, was far more profound. We're taught about kings and conquerors, about their military campaigns and political strategies, their triumphs and failures. The history books are filled with their names and deeds, but rarely do we hear about the queens, the empresses and princesses who shaped empires, who wielded power behind the scenes, and who often played a critical role in maintaining stability and ensuring the empire's continued success. The Secret History of the Mongols, a primary source document offering invaluable insights into the Mongol Empire, reveals these women not as passive bystanders, but as active rulers, shrewd negotiators and skilled diplomats, deeply involved in the political and economic affairs of the empire. They were not passive figures, content to remain in the shadows. They were active participants in shaping the course of history. Genghis Khan's daughters, for example, managed kingdoms with remarkable efficiency and foresight, forged alliances with neighbouring powers, skillfully navigating complex political landscapes, and held the empire together, maintaining order and stability while the men were away at war, expanding the empire's reach and influence. Their contributions were immense, extending far beyond the domestic sphere, impacting the political, economic and social fabric of the empire. Yet, despite their significant contributions, their names are barely remembered, their stories largely untold. They remain hidden figures in the grand narrative of the Mongol Empire. Today, we'll uncover how these Mongol queens wielded power, the strategies they employed, and the challenges they faced in a patriarchal society. We'll explore how they shaped nations, influenced political decisions, and left an indelible mark on history, and why their legacy matters now, offering valuable lessons about leadership, resilience, and the importance of recognizing the contributions of all individuals, regardless of gender. To understand his daughters, we must first see Genghis Khan as more than a conqueror. Born Temujin, he united warring tribes, valued loyalty and merit, and built a new kind of society, one connected by law, trade and ideas. He created a written language, a legal code, and promoted religious tolerance. Genghis Khan knew that conquering was only half the battle. Ruling required a different skill set. He saw his daughters as essential partners, entrusting them with governance and diplomacy. The endurance of his empire rested on their shoulders. They were his secret weapon, transforming conquests into a lasting dynasty. Genghis Khan, the legendary conqueror, wasn't just a master of warfare, he also possessed a keen understanding of political strategy. And one of his most innovative tactics was what we now call daughter diplomacy. He strategically married his daughters to kings of strategic kingdoms, forging alliances and extending his influence through familial ties. These weren't just symbolic unions, they were carefully calculated moves on a grand chessboard. But there was a twist, a rather ruthless one, that made this strategy particularly effective. These women, upon marriage, became the sole queens of their respective kingdoms, wielding considerable power and influence. And their husbands, the kings, were promptly sent to fight in the Mongol armies, often on distant and dangerous campaigns, where they would often meet their end, dying on the front lines, far from their kingdoms and their new brides. This ensured that the path was clear for the Mongol princesses to rise in power. This, quite conveniently, left his daughters as regents, effectively in control of the kingdom. They were now ruling in their own right, not as mere consorts, but as the supreme authority. They directly controlled armies, ensuring loyalty and military strength within their new domains. They managed treasuries, directing the flow of wealth and resources to benefit both their kingdom and the Mongol Empire. And they oversaw the administration, implementing Mongol policies and ensuring the smooth functioning of the government, effectively turning their kingdoms into loyal buffer states, shielding the Mongol heartland from potential threats and expanding its sphere of influence. Through this ingenious, if somewhat Machiavellian, strategy, Genghis Khan was able to expand his empire significantly, consolidating power and securing his borders. He achieved this expansion not always through constant warfare or outright occupation, but through strategic alliances and the shrewd placement of his daughters. His daughters were far from being mere pawns in a political game. They were powerful rulers in their own right, capable and influential figures who shaped the destiny of their kingdoms. They were effectively annexing kingdoms through a combination of cunning political maneuvering and patient diplomacy. Their strong leadership played a crucial role in stabilizing the empire's often volatile borders, ensuring peace and prosperity within their realms. In the end, Genghis Khan's daughter diplomacy proved to be just as powerful, if not more so, than any Mongol army, solidifying his legacy as a brilliant strategist and empire builder. Alakai Beki, Genghis Khan's daughter, exemplified this strategy. Sent to rule the Ongud, she became their leader after her husband's death. Alakai governed with intelligence and earned her people's respect, becoming known as Princess Alakai the Able. She prioritized education, adopting and educating thousands of children to create a loyal administrative class. Her rule brought stability and prosperity to a crucial region. Alakai was no pawn. She was a queen, a builder of the empire's future. Her legacy is one of loyalty, education and strength. After Genghis Khan's death, Toragin Khatun, his daughter-in-law, seized power as regent. She outmaneuvered rivals, built alliances and ruled the Mongol Empire for 5 years. Toragin orchestrated the Grand Kurultai, ensuring her son Guyuk became Great Khan. Her political mastery held the empire together during a dangerous transition. Toragin proved that Mongol women could be kingmakers on a global scale. Her reign was controversial, but her power was undeniable. She shaped the empire's future from behind the throne. In the vast tapestry of Mongol history, where tales of conquest and leadership often highlight the achievements of men, there exists a figure of immense influence, a woman whose strategic brilliance and unwavering dedication shaped the destiny of an empire. Sorkaktani Beki, another daughter-in-law of Genghis Khan, was perhaps the most influential Mongol woman of her time, a woman whose actions resonated across generations. Her story is a testament to the power of intellect, resilience, and the profound impact a woman can have on the course of history. Widowed young, facing the daunting task of raising a family in a world of political intrigue and constant warfare, she raised 4 sons, each destined for greatness. Mongke, the eldest, a future great Khan; Kublai, who would go on to found the Yuan dynasty in China; Hulagu, the conqueror of Baghdad and founder of the Ilkhanate in Persia; and Arik Boka. Each of them destined to leave an indelible mark on the world, all thanks to her careful nurturing, preparing them to rule. Sorkaktani understood the importance of diplomacy and tolerance. She mastered religious diplomacy, skillfully navigating the complex web of faiths within the Mongol Empire, supporting all faiths, from Nestorian Christianity to Buddhism and Islam. This inclusive approach fostered stability and earned her loyalty across the empire, solidifying her position as a respected and influential figure. Beyond diplomacy, she was a shrewd administrator. She managed her lands with remarkable efficiency, ensuring prosperity and stability for her people. Recognizing that true power lies in knowledge, she used her wealth not for personal gain, but to educate her sons in the arts of statecraft, military strategy and diplomacy, ensuring they were well prepared to lead. Her patience, her foresight and her unwavering belief in her sons paid off handsomely. Mongke, her eldest, rose to become Great Khan, leading the Mongol Empire at its zenith. Kublai, with his ambition and vision, founded the Yuan dynasty in China, ushering in a new era of Mongol rule in the east. Hulagu, a formidable military leader, carved out his own empire in Persia, establishing the Ilkhanate, and even Arik Boke, though his reign was contested, also claimed the throne, vying for leadership of the Mongol world. Sorkhakhtani's vision, her wisdom and her unwavering dedication to her sons created a dynasty, a legacy of leadership that would shape the course of history. Her influence extended far beyond the borders of Mongolia, shaping the political, cultural and economic landscape of Asia for a century. She was, in essence, the architect behind the empire's most powerful rulers, the guiding force that propelled her sons to greatness. Her legacy is not one of battlefield glory or overt displays of power, but one of quiet strategic power, a testament to the enduring influence of a mother's love and a woman's wisdom. Alakai, Torigene and Sorkhakhtani were not just supporting players, they were the architects of the Mongol Empire. While men fought, these women governed, managed economies and maintained order. They kept the empire running, turning conquests into a functioning world system. As cultural bridges, they fostered tolerance and exchange, creating the Pax Mongolica. Their erasure distorts history. Their work was essential to the empire's endurance. The Mongol queens balanced strength and wisdom, ambition and diplomacy. They transformed vision into reality, reshaping the world. Why do these stories matter now? The Mongol queens show us that leadership isn't always loud. Sometimes it's strategic, patient and transformative. Their resilience in a patriarchal world inspires us to recognize hidden contributions everywhere. They remind us that women have always shaped history, even when unrecognized. The Mongol Empire's global connections echo in our modern world. By learning from their example, we gain insight into leadership, diversity, and the power of overlooked voices. Their story is a mirror for our present and a guide for our future. The Mongol Queen stories challenge us to look for the unsung architects in our own lives. True power often lies in building, managing and mentoring, not just in the spotlight. Like Sorkhakhtani and Alakai, we can lead with vision and resilience, shaping the future quietly but profoundly. Their lives prove you don't need a crown to make history. What hidden stories are being written today? And what part will you play? The legacy of the Mongol queens is a call to action. Seek out the forgotten, build your own legacy, and shape the world with quiet strength.